Alright, let's continue. Challenging practice 8, two last problems. Problem 7. So the table below shows the price of 3 types of pastry. There are donuts, muffins, and croissants, and there are corresponding prices, $2, $4, and $3. The ratio of the number of donuts sold to the number of croissants sold was 7 to 6. Right? The ratio of the number of muffins sold to the number of croissants sold was 7 to 9. The pastry shop collected $112 more from the sale of muffins than the sale of the donuts. How many donuts were sold? How many money was collected from the sale of all 3 types of pastry? Alright, again, let's think about it, right? What kind of information do they give us? First, they tell us the number of donuts to the number of croissants is 7 to 6. So let's write it down. Donuts to croissants. Alright? It is 7 to 6. Okay? Alright, and there is another information here. They tell us the muffins to the croissants was 7 to 9. Right? Muffins to croissants is 7 to 9. Right? So we have these 2 ratios and we have to work with them. 7 to 6, 7 to 9, right? So we have these croissants, they're the same, right? But the numbers are not the same. So how can we make them comparable? Well, we know how to transform our ratios into equivalent ratios. And this is what we gotta do. So we need to bring this number into something, and this bring number into something, into same number, right? So this, we need to bring them into same number, right? So how can we do that? Easily, right? If we think about it, it's like bringing to common denominator, right? It's 18, and this one will be also 18. We need to multiply by 3, and we need to multiply by 2, right? Okay, and this is what we do. So if we multiply here by 3, we'll multiply here 2. Common factor of 3. 7 times 3 is 21. So our equivalent ratio is 21 to 18. Alright? Now, our another ratio is times 2 here. So it becomes 14. 14 to 18. Alright? And now both of our ratios are comparable because our croissants are both 18. Alright? So we can write it down as one line. So donuts to muffins to croissants. Now it is 21 to 14 to 18, right? Now let's think about it. They give us the price, right? They give us the price here for each item, right? For each product, sorry. Donut, muffin, and the croissant. So if we include these prices into our ratio, we will have a ratio of cost, right? Not the number of. So right now we have the ratio of numbers, right? But if we include price here, we're gonna get a ratio of cost. So cost of donuts to the cost of muffins to the cost of croissants. Okay, we just multiplied by price, right? So 21, and the prices of a donut is $2, right? So 21 by 2 is 42, right? Cost of muffin, 14 times $4, 56. Again, this is just a ratio of the cost. 18 times 3 is 54, right? So this is what we got. And in the last sentence, they tell us the pastry shop collected $112 more from the sale of muffins than the sale of donuts. Let's check the ratio of the cost of muffins and the sale of donuts, right? 42 to 56. What is the difference? What is the difference between this? This is 42 units and This is 56 units. The difference is 14 units. 14 units. 14 units. And they tell us that the difference was $112. So 14 units is 112. So 1 unit is 112 divided by 14, right? And it is 8, right? Now, they ask us the first question, how many donuts were sold? How many donuts were sold, right? And we can see the number of donuts is here. Number of donuts is 21, right? So 21 units. 21 units is 21 times 8, right? And it's 168. So 168 donuts were sold. All right, once again, first, right, we transformed here our both of our ratios to get equivalent comparable ratio when the croissants got both 18, right? And then we wrote down our ratio altogether as 3 quantities: donuts, muffins, and croissants. Then we recalculated this is the ratio of the number of the products, right? And we wanted to get the ratio of their cost. So we multiplied the ratio by the prices, right? And we got the ratio of the costs. Okay? So we can see the difference in the ratio of the cost between cost of donuts and cost of muffins. All right? And we know this difference from the conditions of the problem, that this difference is 14. We can see that it is 14 units from here, right? And these 14 units is $112. All right. So if we divide the price for 14 units, we can understand how many items, right? How many, well, in our case, it doesn't matter. Donuts, muffins, or croissants. So how many items for 1 unit, right? So if we have 21 units of donuts, 1 unit of donuts is 8 donuts, and then total is 168. 168 donuts were sold. All right, now I don't have place here to explain you B, so I'm gonna do like this, but you just continue your page, right? B, because B is gonna be short, I think. How much money was collected from the sale of all 3 types of pastry? Okay, so you're checking you're checking your price, not the price, but the cost units, right? Cost units. So total cost units is 42 plus 56 plus 54, which is 152 units. Right, so 152 units. So this 152 units, again, it's already including the price inside, right? We already multiplied. So 152 units. We know 1 unit. 1 unit is 8 times 152. It is 1,216. All right. So this is your total money. 1,216 were collected from the sale. From the sale of 3 types of pastry. All right. No space for me, but you need to write it yourself. $1,216 were collected from the sale of 3 types of pastry. All right, that's it with this problem. Last problem in the challenging practice. Right. In a class library, 1/5 of the books are Malay books, 1/3 of the remainder are Chinese books. That's a very familiar situation, right? The ratio of the number of Tamil books to the number of Chinese books is 3:8, and the rest are English books. There are 91 English books in the library. How many books are there in the class library? Okay. All right. Well, at this point, you're supposed to operate on with fractions and ratios, but if you have a hard time, you can draw your model and think of it, right? 1/5 of the books are Malay, right? So you will draw your 5 units, and this will be Malay. All right, and this will be remainder. You redraw your remainder, and they tell you 1/3 of the remainder are Chinese books, right? This is Chinese. So if this is 1/5, right, and this is 4/5, like all this part is 4/5, right? So if Chinese is 1/3 of 4/5, okay? So Chinese books can be calculated like this. Chinese books is 1/3 part of 4/5 of the total books, right? 4/5 is the remainder, and 1/3 is the part of the remainder. Okay, so this is how you find it: 1/3 times 4/5. Okay, all right. 1/3 part, or 4/5. 4/5 is the remainder of the total, and it is 4/15. Okay. Now this part is Tamil and English books, which we need to find out, right? So first of all, they give us the ratio here. The ratio of the number of Tamil books to Chinese books is 3:8, and this is what we use, right? So Tamil to, not to Chinese, right? Tamil to Chinese. The ratio is 3:8. Okay? 3:8. So basically here our 8 units is 4/15. Right? This number, our Chinese books. Okay? And what is the total Tamil and Chinese books? Total in Tamil and Chinese books are 11 units. Okay. All right. So we want our 8 units to be comparable with this number, right? So we need to transform this fraction, right? So 4/15 is 8/30, right? 8/30s. It's the same thing. 4/15 is the same thing as 8/30, right? We're just transforming it. So this number is the same number. So our 8 units here correspond to the fraction of total number of books, right? So then our 11 units become 11/30, okay? And this is Tamil and Chinese books. Tamil and Chinese books. All right? Okay. So what do we do next? Our Malay books, right? Malay books. Our Malay books is 1/5, and we decided, right, that we can see that our denominator is 30, so kind of total 30 units, right? So total amount of units is 30 in the whole kind of stuff, right? So 1/5 of the 30 units is 6 units. Okay. All right. And what do we have left? We have left our English books, right? English books. And now we know that we have we decided it's going to be a total of 30 units, right? 30 units. The whole thing going to be 30 units. Minus Tamil and Chinese books, we just found it's 11 units, right? Minus, we just found Malay books is 6 units, right? So the leftover is 13 units. Those are our English books. And they give us the condition, right? There are 91 English books in the library. Okay. So 13 units is 91. right? So 1 unit is 91 divided by 13, which is 7, right? So how much is total? Right? Total 30 units. 30 units is 30 times 7, 210. This is your answer. There are 210 books in the library. Alright, can be a little confusing, but if you use all of the concepts that you learned, fractions, ratios, model drawing, you will be able to follow everything step by step. Alright? Watch this video again several times if you need in order to follow through. And yeah, I will post an answer sheet for these two problems.